This is where the fun begins.
But we've seen this movie before.
What's Sam Pittman known for?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Is the Arkansas athletic program cursed? But you never know what the loudest mouth in the fan base and his wild band of misfits are going to say.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
It's time to step inside the Hawg Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton.
Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome to an all-new episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. I am your host, as always, from the Central Arkansas Hawg Pen, Razorback Zach, and back from the dead, because good night, he was sicker than sick last week, is my buddy, my co-host, my cohort, all-around good guy, and professionally proven glue that holds the whole damn thing together. Marcus MC Carlton, what's up, dude? Welcome back.
Thank you. The rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. I felt like I was dying of man flu about this time last week, so I was not going to contribute in any form or fashion to the show. So it was a rough 24-ish hours, but I'm happy to come out the other side of it, and glad to be back here where I'm supposed to be on Thursday nights.
Man, I tell you, hey, big shout out to Dylan, by the way, for stepping in, pitch hitting. He did a fantastic job last week.
Absolutely.
So a big shout out to him. But hey, speaking of DMAD, MC, speaking of DMAD, it is a great honor and privilege that he is going to allow me to actually announce this. He is going to be a father for a first time.
Welcome to the dad life.
For the record, I did ask him permission before I said anything.
Yeah.
So from all of us here at Inside the Hawg Pen, that kid's going to have a crap ton of uncles, man.
And let's be honest, did you really ask him or did you ask mama?
I asked him.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure he asked her. So
okay, yeah.
Because look, I'm terrified of her. All right. I'm not going to let him. I'm terrified of her. But congratulations, D-Mad. And
absolutely.
You are in for a fantastic journey. And yep. I'm extremely honored to be able to announce that, and I appreciate that honor. We are going to have him on. He'll be back next week, I hope. He is doing the Lord's work as we speak. So I, once again, am running the boards, and he's going to tell me quit touching buttons. But hey, Here we go. Presented by Seven Oaks Steakhouse and Seafood and Rock City Wraps. This is Inside the Hawg Pen. Okay, so you guys know we have a radio show. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., because the phone lines are going to be open all show long, because I am still not sold on the Razorback basketball team. And we're going to jump into it tonight, because I'm coming after you of everything I can muster.
Got my trusty Kool-Aid here with me.
I'll tell you why later on the show, so you're not going to want to miss that. Plus, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow too on Inside the Hawg Pen, the radio show. 501-823-0965 will get you on the air. Call in, talk about it. Let's talk about it. I want all the smoke. I want all the hate. Come on with it. Pretend I'm Paul Feinbaum. I do not care. Oh man. So let's jump right off into this. And let me hit this button. Yeah. You're muted, MC. He's so excited.
I'm so damn excited. I forgot to unmute my mic. I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
Yeah. All right, school is in session, and first thing at the gate, MC, is I'm going to tell you this right now, and again, for those of you that listen and for those of you that watch, y'all know we call it like we see it here at Inside the Hawg Pen. All right, look, let's just face facts here. The women's basketball team stunk it up this year. There's no sugarcoating that. But how in the hell do you have one of the best players left off of the all SEC team? Mm-hmm. How? Izzy Higginbottom. All right.
Yep.
How? She set like 2 records.
Oh, I got a little visual aid here that's going to help us out with this. So this is before they had their first round game in the SEC tournament. And this is just all regular season stats. So Izzy led the SEC, the entire conference, including South Carolina, LSU, Texas, all of those teams that are in the top 5, top 10. She led scoring with 23.9 points per game. She was also the NCAA points leader on the season with 742 points, and she's going to end with 780 because they lost their first round game against Georgia, but she put up 38 in the SEC tournament, only the 4th women's player ever to put up 30 plus in an SEC tournament game. She is the
NCAA. She didn't do it?
No, Chelsea didn't do it. Nope. NCAA free throw leader at 235 made free throws. She led the SEC in free throw percentage at 90%. That's 9 out of 10 for simple math. So for every 10 free throws that she shot on the season, she made 9 of them. She broke Angel Reese's record for the most attempted free throws in a season for the SEC. But yet, in all their infinite wisdom, the coaches around the league, allegedly the coaches, that's who votes on this. I have my own personal thoughts there. I think coaches don't touch it. I think it's a GA or an intern inside the athletic department, inside the basketball program that is assigned that duty because the coaches don't want to mess with it because I've known enough.
It's the same as the coaches poll in football. It's
exactly.
It's not the SID. It's not the head. It's not the coaches. It's some GA, go for, we'll put in here.
Working at the bottom of the totem pole. It's the person you give all the busy work to that nobody else wants to do. That's why I say it's either a GA or an intern. And the fact that this has never happened before in the history of the SEC, and I would bet my mortgage right now that if the leading scorer in the league had been on South Carolina, LSU, Texas, Ole Miss, pretty much any other team in the league, they would be first team all SEC.
Oh yeah.
Let's see how the men's poll comes out in a week or so when they do all SEC. Let's see if Broom from Auburn, because he's the leading scorer. He's the league leader. Easy enough for me to say in points per game. You think he's going to be left off?
No.
Now, people are going to come back to me and say, well, yeah, but Auburn's number 1, number 2 in the country. That should not play a role in this. This is an individual award.
Don't think Auburn's number 1, are they?
They're somewhere in the top 5. I don't know. They're damn good. I know that.
Yeah.
But, the people that come back to me and say, well, Auburn's a lot better than Arkansas women. Well, okay, but this is an individual award. This is not a team award. This is an individual award. So where you're at team-wise should not factor into this. This is strictly an individual accomplishment award. And I've got a lot more I'm going to say about this in the final segment tonight, but all this is doing is feeding that conspiracy theory that is turning out to be true for Arkansas fans, that the SEC has some kind of vendetta against them. And I'll talk more about that at the end of the show. And I'm probably going to hurt some feelings at the end of the show because I have a lot more I want to say about that. But kudos to Izzy for the season she had individually. The team as a whole sucked, and their SEC tournament game was a prime example of pretty much how this season has gone. They had I believe a 6 or 8 point lead going into the fourth quarter and weren't able to hold it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a very astute question here.
Okay.
Does Mike Neighbors have a job come next season? Here's the thing. If he doesn't have, I got to remember that we're airing this at a different date.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't have the fortitude, you can insert your own word there, to fire Sam Pittman in year 5, There's no way he's going to fire Mike Neighbors with $1.5 million buyout.
I don't think Neighbors is going anywhere. I think he gets another year. If next year ends up being as bad as this year was, and who knows, with the portal, it might be, it might not. I don't know. Izzy came out of the portal. She was a product of the portal. This was her second SEC school. She started out at Missouri, transferred down to Arkansas State, had a lot of individual success at Arkansas State, much like she did this year, and then finished up her career on the Hill. With Neighbors, man, I don't see any way he gets fired. I really don't. I don't think it's going to happen with the looking at Hunter Yurichek's history and how he handles things like subpar seasons when you're however deep into it that I don't even remember how deep Neighbors is now, but they've been trending the wrong direction for a couple years now.
Let me see if I can get that. See if I can look that up real quick.
Yeah, I since they had that really good season a few years ago where they beat Baylor and UConn in the same season in a regular season, went into the NCAA tournament as like a 3 seed, and then they got upset in the first round. Ever since then, they've kind of been trending the wrong direction. Well, I mean, they have been trending the wrong direction. It's been pretty much a nosedive since then.
2017, he was hired at Arkansas.
Okay, so wow, this is 8 years now.
Now, I'm looking at his coaching record.
Mm-hmm.
94 to 98, he was Bentonville High School's head coach.
Mm-hmm.
98, 99, he was Cabot's high school coach. From 2001 to 2005, he was an assistant at Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
05 to 06, he was an assistant at Colorado. 06 to 07, he was an assistant at Arkansas. 07 to 2010, he was an assistant at Xavier. And then, of course, that run from 2011 to 2017, mm-hmm. he was at Washington. Now,
he had a Final Four run. He had a Final Four team at Washington.
Yeah, from 11 to 13, he was the assistant head coach. And then from 13 to 17, he was the head coach. And then from 17 until now, he's been at Arkansas.
I think it was maybe, and I'm going off memory here, so I could be wrong, but I think it was around 2015 at Washington when they made the Final Four. Yeah. I don't write that in stone, but I think that's right.
I want to run over here real quick to the Camp Productions Live Fan Feedback.
Absolutely.
Royalty is in the house. What's up, Casey? Casey messaged me, by the way. And Casey, I am so sorry. It has been a heck of a couple of weeks for me. She messaged me, said she watched last week, but for some reason could not comment. And I apologize, Casey, for not getting back to you. I did see your message, but my brain just forgot to text you.
We'll blame Facebook.
No, blame me. That's all me. That's all me. I'll take the blame for it. Loki. Because with your host, how am I supposed to know who you are if the voiceover guy doesn't tell me?
Exactly. The whole point.
Because I hit the button. I'm sorry. Again, my fault. Casey chimes in again and says, "Congrats on your growing family, Dylan." And then she's telling you to preach it.
I mean, it doesn't seem like that I'm saying anything outlandish here. I mean, this all should be common sense stuff. Right? But
and then our other producer that makes me sound good on Friday mornings is in the house, Aaron Weatherford. What's up, Aaron?
What's up, Aaron?
Aaron and I are gonna have a little fun tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I can bait him into an argument like I can you tonight. Yeah, I'm giving you a warning shot there, Aaron. Yep. See, he's already started, so here we go. He says Hogs.
He got his Kool-Aid too. Yeah.
Y'all put it down. I'm gonna tell you why. And I just he had Amber Ramirez, he had Chelsea Dungy, he had Destiny.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
She was a splash sister with Amber Ramirez for the longest time.
Yeah. And I'm not going to pretend to be a diehard women's fan because I'm not. I keep up with it sparingly.
But you still couldn't do anything with them. And you get bounced from the tournament by Wright State?
Yeah, that was brutal. I mean, you're going in as a 3 seed, and if I remember right, the bracket shaped up pretty decently for them to make a good Sweet 16 run.
Upsets of that tournament that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It was a big one.
Okay, so kudos to the women. I mean, say your
Izzy. I mean, it's
say your helmet. And I'm gonna be honest with you, because again, I call it like I see it here at ITHP. Izzy deserved better.
Yeah, she did. She deserved better, and it was a blatant disrespect thing. And, I heard some other shows this morning trying to shoot down the whole, conspiracy theory, but in their,
were they getting paid by, were they in a section of the NWA?
Possibly. I don't want to plug anybody that doesn't watch our show by mentioning theirs by name, but if you're on the radio in the morning, you know who I'm talking about.
That's why I said NWA could be anybody.
They were here's what I didn't understand. They kept talking about, well, it's not this whole thing of the SEC out to get Arkansas, even if this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, you're shooting down your entire argument yourself, because how many times do bad things like this have to happen before it becomes more than just a coincidence? It's intentional at this point.
What you're saying is there could be a pod exclusive coming out of Is Arkansas Cursed Part 2. A conspiracy.
Maybe instead of being cursed, maybe it's, why does the conference hate us?
I could go to I can go to freaking Hollywood and write this stuff, man.
I mean, at this point, it's comical at this point, because, as well as I do, the running joke, you could have somebody like Saturday, TB, Trevon Brazile. He could go out and have 30 points, 22 rebounds, 8 assists, and 6 block shots, and he's going to be SEC Player of the Week.
We saw it in basketball or baseball all last year.
Yeah.
And the year before that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to plug it, and I don't have the picture up, and I'm so sorry, but I got to give a shout out to Nikki and Justin Ashmore. She, Miss Nikki, had a custom jersey made, and nice. On the sleeve, they put our logo. They texted me a couple of weeks ago, asked if we could put our logo on that sleeve, and I said, go for it. And got a picture of the jersey. Jersey looks great, by the way.
Very cool.
Hopefully we get to see them in Fayetteville at some point this baseball season. But a big shout out to Nikki and Justin Ashmore. Good longtime friends of the show. Okay, dude.
Let's move over to a little more of my expertise, a little more of my wheelhouse.
Let's the men's talk team. About South Carolina.
No, that game didn't happen. I'm going with Cal. That game did not happen. We burned the tape because that was not my team.
No.
No, that did not happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
It happened. I'm sorry, MC.
Nope. Give me Will Smith and the little black pen thing, because that didn't happen.
Look. You can deny it all you want to, but you cannot talk about the Vanderbilt game if you don't talk about South Carolina.
Sure, I can.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Man, I had something I almost said, and it almost broke our cardinal rule of not bringing politics into this. But I caught myself. Yeah. I'm not standing up with my cane pointing it like this. So
I saw the look, and I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." No, look. I mean, here's the thing, okay, and you can call it a fluke because both teams last week could not shoot the ball at all.
Yeah.
Okay. But how? And again, a few weeks ago, if y'all remember this, I called this game. I knew this was going to happen.
The South Carolina game.
Yeah. Okay. I knew this was going to happen. There's no excuse for it. Okay.
Yeah, that one. I got nothing on that one.
How in the world do you go into Rupp and beat Kentucky? Okay, you sweep Texas. Of course, Texas is not like good anyway. Anytime somebody mentions Texas, I'm just gonna throw it up.
Yeah, it's automatic.
You're in all of these games, most of them.
Yeah, most of them. Well, you go down to Auburn and you have chances to beat number one on the road.
Again, shades of MC's premier night.
Yep.
But again, you cannot mention that Vanderbilt win without mentioning South Carolina. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm not bought in. I can't.
I don't know, man. I'll tell you this.
This team is so up and down and inconsistent. Yes, I know. Injuries happen and all this. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
MC, come on, dude. You got to put the Kool-Aid down because I guarantee you they're going to lay an egg against Mississippi State.
Nah, they're going to come out. They're going to finish this thing out. They're going to finish this thing out right.
No, they're going to
get the W
from the tournament because they're going to play. I think they're an 11-12 seed against Memphis.
We're locked. We're locked in, baby. We're locked in.
We're going to the tournament. Yeah, and I'll admit I was wrong. Didn't think they were going to make it, but they're going to be a one and done. They're going to get blown out by 30.
It was looking pretty bleak there for a while, but Cal made a good point, and I hadn't thought about this until I heard him talk about it in the post game the other night. And I don't remember. I don't think it was at It may have been at Vanderbilt where he said this. I don't know. That game was so late. I didn't stay up and watch post game.
That's another thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to hit on that too. But he mentioned that this is about the fourth different team that he's coached this year. And I mean, he's not wrong, because if you look at the different levels of injuries that come in all the way back to the preseason where they couldn't even scrimmage together, you had the Boogie led team, you had the team after Boogie went down. Now you got the team after Thero goes down. And I mean, there's another inversion of it in there somewhere. I mean, it's just, I don't have answers, but I do feel like that March is here. There's a different attitude now. Things are going to look up. I think not only are they going to beat Mississippi State, I'm calling my shot right now. I'm pointing to center field like Babe Ruth. 2 wins in the SEC tournament. 2. They're gonna win their first round game.
Spike your Kool-Aid or something? What the heck?
Maybe.
There's no.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Look, man. I want to be on board. Y'all know I love my Hogs. I mean, I've been in a almost 25 year
toxic relationship with them. Yes.
Toxic relationship. Believe me, I know. Never mind. Shut up, Zach.
Yeah. Move on.
Almost said something there. I can't. And it's not. But see, here's the thing. Okay, it shouldn't have to be a different team. It should just be next man up.
It very well should be.
Okay? Yeah, it should be next man up. It should not be. This is my fourth different team.
Well, but
I don't want to hear that. I want to hear next man up.
But this is not a next man up situation because of how this team was put together. These guys had to fight to develop that chemistry because of outside of the 3 guys that played at Kentucky together last year, none of these guys had ever played together. And that's huge.
Come on, MC.
That's huge, man. You can't put a number value on team chemistry.
But okay. Explain the Kentucky game to me. Explain. Kentucky's the only one.
The Kentucky game. Here's what it is for the Kentucky game. You had the 3 guys who played there last year, motivated out of their mind, locked in more in that game than they've been in any other game all year long.
Where was that against South Carolina? Where was that against Oklahoma? LSU?
I'm not excusing it. I'm not excusing it.
A&M.
I would love to see that level of concentration and focus every single game. The bottom line is these guys don't do it. And for whatever reason, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm just not. And you can't say coach. I will defend this. It ain't Coach Cal.
No, this is on the players.
He's not exactly. He's not the one out on the court trying to make the shots or not making the shots. If you're in Columbia.
Well, and if you've happened to catch any of the Calipari show that's on Vice that goes behind the scenes and he's mic'd up during games, I mean, that shines a light on the fact that these guys in certain situations, they're not doing what he tells them to do.
No.
And I think you and I talked about this a little bit the other night, away from the show, away from everything else, just in text, and I threw the question out there of, okay, how many of these guys are going rogue because they know with only 7 players that are seeing the floor, they're not going to be taken out.
That's exactly what's going on.
And I think to an extent there's some of that happening.
But how do you expect the fan base to buy into this team when you shot 13% at South Carolina?
I mean, you have to do what I'm doing, and you put that one behind you. But that's why nobody gave this team a shot going into the Vanderbilt game. I didn't give them a shot.
I still don't give them a shot. History says
we don't play well at Vanderbilt. It's a tough place to play. Everybody struggles that goes in there, with the exception of like there's usually one team a year that'll go in there and just absolutely annihilate Vanderbilt. Every other game is pretty close. because that place is such a weird setup. The floor is elevated. So when you're sitting in the crowd on like the expensive seats, you're basically looking floor level. You're looking at people's shoes. Then the benches are on the ends, which is the dumbest thing. It ought to be outlawed in basketball. That's the dumbest setup I've ever seen in my life. Leave it to a bunch of book nerds at Vanderbilt to set up something like that. That is the dumbest setup. So
sorry, I had to hit that one.
That's my rant on Memorial Coliseum at Vanderbilt.
You can't. I mean, the thing is, though, is look. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something stupid. I already know it, so I'm gonna stay off my soapbox. You cannot sell me on this team right now. Because you don't know which team's going to show up.
They're very Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know which team's going to show up. And you have a valid point about Saturday that because of how well they played at Vanderbilt, what was that, Tuesday night? Because of how well they all played in that game, especially guys like Brazile. Brazile had his best game since he's come back from the knee injury. That's the best he's played.
We're up against the break. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. But we're going to get to Eric Jernigan's comment real quick, and then we're going to flip the break. He says, go back and look at the LSU game, the Oklahoma game. They were wildly out of sync, and that's down 100%. To chemistry. And it does.
Yeah, 100%.
We still have, again, early in the season, I can understand the whole chemistry argument. Mm-hmm. I can understand that. Okay. Non-con, I can understand that. All right. But we are a week away.
Now we're in March now. Yeah.
We're in March. We're SEC tournament time. We're tournament time here. Mm-hmm. You cannot sell me on we ain't got no chemistry.
That's the best I've got, man. That's the best I can come up with.
You got it or you don't. It's not. Yeah. It's not. You're either all in or all out. But
if it hasn't developed by this point, it's not going to develop.
That's why I say our postseason is going to be about as short as. Never mind.
Two games in the SEC tournament.
I think we get bounced.
I'm calling my shot right now. 2.
I think we get bounced the first. Well, we're playing Georgia the first round, aren't
we? To be determined. It depends on what happens Saturday. We could be anywhere from the 9 to the 12 seed. The difference in the 9 and the 12 seed is whether you play on Wednesday or you play on Thursday.
I don't know.
I'll pull the bracket up while we're in the break, and then we can look at it real quick when we come back from the break.
I'm still firing everything I've got at MC because he still can't sell me on this. But we're going to step away. I'm going to try to catch my breath and have a little Razorback Kool-Aid because baseball is in full swing. We're going to talk about that later on too. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen. Back right after this.
Meeks Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Meeks Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Meeks Design.
Hey, Hawg Fanatics. We at Inside The Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hawg Fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code Inside Hawg Pen. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code Inside Hawg Pen.
It's time to step back inside the Hawg Pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
Welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen. Oh, my goodness.
All right. While I'm doing it, I'm going to pull this bracket up and make a correction on myself because it's the 8 seed, the difference in 8 and 9 between playing Wednesday and Thursday. So we're going to be playing Wednesday no matter what. It's just a matter of what time we play and where we go in the bracket after that.
Well, so, again, we're going to end up matching up with somebody that's going to blow us out in the second round anyway.
I don't know about the second round. That's why I say you're going to win 2 games because let's say I'm going to say Arkansas ends up being the 9 seed. Okay, which means you're going to play at noon on Wednesday, noon on Thursday, and then noon on Friday. And that Friday game, most likely you're going to face Auburn.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be the end of the run.
And look, in order to improve your seeding in the big dance, you have to get as close to that championship game on Sunday as you possibly can, if not get there.
Which they're not going to go past Friday.
No,
they're going to win Wednesday. They're going to win Thursday. And then Friday's going to be the end of it.
Again, now, if MC turns up that he's right, I will eat.
If
I will eat crow.
If you're gonna be in the School of Hawg Hoops up there on the chalkboard writing, I will not doubt MC. I will not doubt MC.
I mean, how many times have I done that with Lord, especially during football. Let's not.
I got another comment I want to jump to here. Our boy Loki says, I noticed we also still have some issues with being too flashy at times. Yeah, we have some great 3-point shooters, but when that is all we are shooting, it gets a little bit ridiculous. This isn't a video game. You can win games 2 points at a time. I have a major issue with all the 3-pointers, especially if they're not falling. If they're falling, shoot them until you start missing them. But once you start missing them, you got to have enough sense to back up and say, okay, this is not working. Let's go to something else. Justin chimes in, and he's team no faith.
Well, hey, he's back me up, dude. He's back me up.
he's on to baseball. He's moved on to baseball.
But here's the thing, MC. Here's the thing, okay? I'm looking at Big Z going, why do you have the biggest dude on the team on the perimeter jacking up threes?
Because that's the game now. Unfortunately.
No. He's 7'4". All he's got to do is reach up and he's got the basket.
You're preaching to the choir.
Look at me.
You're preaching to the choir because you know what excites me about Big Z? When I see him make a post move like he made at Vanderbilt the other night, where he leans on the guy and he's got the defender leaning this way. He spins off of him and turns and dunks it. That's what I want more of from him.
Get in the lane. Get in the paint. Stop it.
I want him to be. I want him to be something he's not. I want him to be a 7-foot white version of Shaq in the post, and he's not that. He is more of a Dirk Nowitzki type. Dirk can take people down and post them up, but Dirk made his money when he was facing the basket rather than back to the basket. And your traditional post players are all back to the basket guys. You think about the old school guys that played in the post. And by old school, I mean like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, those dudes. You know, those are your traditional big men.
The guys that actually threw elbows.
Yeah.
And I tweaked my ankle. Don't get me started on that.
When the NBA was played by men and not boys, that's what I'm talking about. But we're not going to get that out of Big Z, so we have to take what we can get.
There's another word I'm going to use, but I can't.
I think he gets a little trigger happy at times from the 3-point range.
Right.
But the thing is, man, his shot is so fundamentally sound, and when he's on, he's on. But as we saw down at Auburn, when he's off, man, forget it. He went 0 for 10 that night.
0 for he looked like me shooting a 3-pointer out there.
So while we're talking about big men, I got to get through this really quick because we got a lot we've got to cover, and I'm running us behind here. I'm out of practice, and I'm being long-winded tonight.
That's how we built this show. Come on now.
Trevon Brazile, dude, my man took care of business at Vanderbilt the other night.
But can he keep it up?
That's the thing. That's the problem, not just with him. That's the problem with the whole team is consistency. The consistency has been an issue with TB ever since he came back from his injury. But this was the most complete that he has looked like since he came back. He looked like the Trevon Brazile we saw in Maui 3 years ago.
I was going to say, this was about as close as the Maui TB.
Absolutely. Yes.
That we've gotten since that.
Yeah. But I think he ended up with 18 and 14 or 18 and 16.
But again, he's going to have to keep that fire lit. And if you've got to, and we can edit this out, but if you've got to piss him off in order for him to play like that, piss him off.
Somebody make him mad. Somebody go in and slap him before the game starts, because that man was playing like a man possessed the other night. I mean, he was dunking on folks. He was blocking shots. And I'll say this, the last probably 3 to 4 games, the man has been a window cleaner. He's been racking up on the rebounds.
The 1990 team.
Okay.
The now viral video of that speech that gives me chills every time. Daryl Hawkins, thank you. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to get corrected for not being a Hawg fan because I didn't know. Yeah.
Man, Hawk was a dude, man.
Sorry. I was 2 in 1990, so forgive me. But oh my gosh, we need him every pregame.
Yeah. Well, and if you see that in that video at the very end of it, when he says, "I'm done," and he's give his speech, you hear Cal in the background saying, "Hey, Hawk, we need you over close to our bench tonight." I mean, Hawk was just one of those dudes, man. And I think he's an assistant coach now. I think maybe at Texas Tech. I think I'm going to have to look that up and see, but Hawk's exactly right, man. When these dudes when they figure out and they start playing for each other and stay within their assigned roles, and we lose the hero ball, this team has talent. It's just a matter of finding the consistency. And if you're going to find it, this is the time to find it, because we're to the point of the season where it matters now. It in all honesty, it hasn't mattered up to this point.
No,
but when you get to March, it's a different world, man.
I don't know, dude. Like I said, are we going to have South Carolina, Arkansas, or are we going to have Vanderbilt, Arkansas come out?
I think we're going to see closer to the Vanderbilt team Saturday at 11 o'clock, Bud Walton Arena, home finale.
Put a pause on that for Shaking MC.
Okay.
And we may have to family edit this because I'm jumping on this soapbox. Who in the hell did we piss off?
Yeah.
You get a 9 o'clock tip off on Tuesday night and an 11 o'clock tip off on a Saturday.
Yeah. And Cal brought that up the other night as well. And I was glad to hear him kind of call out the conference on that, because, that 9 o'clock tip off Tuesday night.
I've never seen another team get a 9 o'clock tip off this entire
season. I don't remember it. I watch a lot of SEC basketball every year, and I don't remember an SEC game outside of the SEC tournament starting at 9 o'clock. I do not remember any regular season games, conference games starting at 9 o'clock.
So why was ours at 9 o'clock? I would love to hear an
question
from Greg Sankey about why.
Well, and it's not to defend Sankey, but I'm going to defend him a little bit, because this is more of an ESPN call than it is a Greg Sankey, because with the way the media deal is done, my understanding is that ADs and coaches don't have any say in start times for games. It's all decided by the mothership. So
name of the game.
It is. I mean, on all fronts, that's the name of the game, and that's what it's going to be. So they didn't I don't know where you're going.
I just lost my train of thought. They didn't do preemptive coverage because of Luka debuting with the Lakers, but he was benched.
No, it wasn't moved because of that. It was this, for some reason, this game was always scheduled at 9 o'clock. And that's another beef that I have with ESPN, is that they only allow 2 hours for window. So you have a 7 o'clock, you have a 9 o'clock, or you have a 6 and you have an 8. Whoever gets that late game, you're never going to start on time. You're going to start on ESPN News, because 2 hours is not enough time with the amount of commercial breaks that ESPN has shoved into every single game. And then the bigger issue that it's becoming now is the amount of reviews that officials take during the game, because those are starting to add up too. And that's why games have gone from 2 hours to, 2 hours and 5 minutes, to 2 hours and 20 minutes.
And again, I'm going to play the dumb card here. Are the reviews in basketball done within the arena by the refs, or does that, like baseball, then go to Birmingham?
To my knowledge, they're done in-house by the referees, because the referees go to center court. They look at a monitor. Now, are they communicating with the home office? I don't know. On basketball, I don't know. It would make sense if they are, but we are talking about the SEC, so there's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Football and baseball are both done from Birmingham.
Yeah. They talk back to the home office, so common sense would say that basketball does too.
Let's go to the Cam Productions live fan feedback. We got to get caught up because we're way behind here. But hey, that's what we do here at Inside the Hawg Pen. Eric Jernigan agreeing with me, but
that's twice tonight, Eric. We can't be having this, man. You're betraying the NEA over here.
No, he's not. Give CA a little bit. He says, "Hey, man, Zach, I'm too old to be staying up that late during the week."
Hey, man, I was struggling the other night.
My work schedule's 4 a.m. to noon. All right. 9 p.m. tip-off. I'm with Justin here. I fell asleep 5 minutes into the second half. I didn't make it to halftime. I'm not even going to lie to you. I had to watch the replay.
I made a tweet the other night, and I threw it out there, and I'm like, okay, so they're going to play just good enough to make me stay up for this whole game. And sure enough, they did.
So, Loki says maybe we're a night team.
Hey, if we're going to get the kind of results we got out of the team and Trevon Brazile, man, I will sacrifice sleep, and let's start every game at 9:00 if they're going to play like that.
Whoa. Don't you put that black magic on us.
If it means we win, I'll take it. They make Red Bull for a reason.
Wait a minute. But what about, and I'll catch your heart as it blows out of your chest down here in Central Arkansas. Whoops. You're not getting I thought I turned those off. Sorry. I'm getting emails for about houses. I'm sorry about that. No, nobody's getting a text. That was me. I'm sorry. All right, so we're gonna take another break. On the other side of the break, it's baseball time in Arkansas. All right, we're gonna take a break. I gotta catch up my breath because I this is the first time I've come at MC for anything basketball, and I think I held my own, but I'm gonna go.
You stayed in single digits. You didn't get, I didn't put a double digit W on you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go, breathe for a minute. But you're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen. Baseball on the other side of the break. Right after this.
Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
Hey, Hawg Fanatics. We at Inside the Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hawg Fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code Inside Hawg Pen. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code Inside Hawg Pen.
It's time to step back inside the Hawg Pen to the Mix Design Studios.
Welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen. Boy, my board just went crazy. I clicked one thing and my screen disappeared and all the bulb. Yeah, well, that's what I get for not having Dylan here tonight.
Yep.
But
you gotta have the chairman of the board.
Whoa.
The production board. Good
save there, MC. Good save. Kind of like how the baseball team did with their one-run, rain-delayed game. Which here's the thing. Make this somebody make this make sense for me. How are you going to call a game in the 7th inning? You're a dang run rule and go, well, we're going to delay this game till tomorrow. And then I think it was little brother Aloy?
Yeah. Younger Aloy. Yeah. First pitch he saw. Bases loaded. Boom. Game over.
I guarantee you he looked at Coach, trust me, I got this. Let me have it. That dude. Boy, hey.
He has come on strong, man. He has definitely won a lot of fans over right off the bat. And I'll say this, and I'm coming back at you here because I'm guilty of this too. But for all the crap that we've thrown at Nate Thompson and his philosophy of dingers or nothing, this team so far this year has not had that philosophy. They've been doing the little things when it comes to being at the plate. They've been taking balls the other way. They've been hitting the C&I singles that bring in runs rather than trying to hit dingers every time at bat. So for right now, March 6th, 2025, it may change in a month, but right now I have to tip my hat because they're hitting in a more traditional style rather than what we've seen the last couple of years.
Sousa and Diggs, I've been giving them a lot of crap. Maybe they're turning a corner. Maybe. But again,
Father Diggs.
Yeah, well, we're not going to go that way. Okay, so we're short on time, so we're going to shorten the baseball talk up. We may do
Yeah, they got Portland this weekend. Should be more of the same. Just go out, take care of business, and get ready for SEC play in a few weeks.
Yeah, next weekend, actually.
Yeah, it is next weekend.
Now, the SEC home opener, March 22nd, 2025. I make my return to where it all began. I will be in the Hawg Pen. Be on the lookout for some big announcements as the Little Rock game gets closer.
Yep. That's coming up. We're inside of a month now from that, I guess.
Okay, MC. Arkansas versus the SEC.
Well, I want to touch. I got to touch on softball first. I got to. 19-1. They open SEC play this weekend at Oxford, and not to commit the cardinal sin of looking past that, but the first home SEC series. Look, if you can get to Bogle Park, get there, because Oklahoma, the defending national champion Oklahoma Sooners softball team, is coming to Bogle Park. If that place is not standing room only, we got issues, people, because that's the top of the mountain.
And if it's not louder, I swear I want to hear that hog call all the way down in El Dorado.
Yeah, we gotta pack out Bogle Park. We need to see attendance records fall for that series.
Yes.
But they got to go take care of business down in Oxford first.
Got to take care of business at Oxford. But I'm telling you now, y'all need to watch these ladies play. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you talk about hitting for power. Good Lord.
All around this team. There's not just a single the whole from top to bottom.
Yeah, this program, the way this program has been built, they're following the model that Oklahoma set.
But I will tell you what is bad is this conspiracy theory, and where's Dylan with his tinfoil hat?
Yeah, well, I'm the other conspiracy guy in the group, so
take it away. Let's hear what you got.
So, we see all this. We saw the turnarounds, the 9:00 game at night on a Tuesday. You get back into town 3:30 on Wednesday morning, and then you got to turn right around and play at 11 a.m. on Saturday. And then on top of that, we've already talked about the disrespect for Izzy Higginbottom being left off of first team or second team All SEC. How many times does crap like this have to happen before people realize that it's not coincidence and it is just happening to Arkansas? I mean, at what point does Hunter Yurchek or somebody go to the SEC and just basically throw their hands up and say, WTH, what is going on? What's the deal? I mean, this is like somebody possibly bullying you to the point just to see how long you're going to sit there and take it. Well, we've reached the point now where it's time to go up and get in their face and say, what the hell is your problem? Because we've seen this with football scheduling. We've seen it with basketball scheduling. We have seen countless dominant performances by Razorback athletes end up being co-players of the week. It happened to Hagen Smith. It's happened to basketball. It's happened to football. And now the ultimate disrespect, you have a player lead the league in scoring, and she's left off of not just the first team, but also the second team. She's not one. You're going to sit there and tell me that she's not one of the best 17 players in this league. Forget about what the team did. Forget about what the team didn't accomplish as a team. This is an individual award. And the fact that the SEC coaches that she played against and torched pretty much everybody for the most part are sitting here saying that she's not one of the best 17 players in the league is absolutely ridiculous. And it should be embarrassing for the SEC.
So with that, for Marcus MC Carlton and the new father, Dylan Madden, I'm Razorback Zach. Thank you all for joining us tonight on Inside the Hawg Pen. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider, and be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.